You don't have to be rich to go to Disney. You just have to do things different. And that's what my videos are about, how to do things different and how to go to Disney on a budget. Now, if that's something you'd be interested in, be sure to like and subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, make sure you hit the bell button so that you can be notified every time I upload a new video. This video, I want to talk about when is the best time to go to Disney. Now, everybody has their own opinions of when is the best time to go to Disney. But when you're talking about a budget, everybody will tell you that the best time to go to Disney is during value season. Now, some of you may not know what that is, so I'm going to go into the different seasons. Disney actually has 3 separate seasons. It's called the value season, the regular season, and the peak season. I'm going to go worst first because that's what I always like to do. Worst first would be your peak seasons. Peak seasons, that is usually when it is the most expensive time to go, because usually it also goes with the time that the kids are out of school and people are on vacations and stuff like that. So obviously you're going to pay a lot more to go for the times that are the most convenient for the biggest group. That's because that's when kids are out of school. That's when a lot of people take their vacations. So June, July, August is what they consider the peak season. I don't really understand why, because to me June, July, and August is also the hottest seasons, and what they consider peak season is also the most expensive. So if you're looking to stay within budget, that's definitely not the time to go. Now, those are like month-wise. I'll go into other peak times later on. The next time is what they consider the regular season. Now, regular season, some people can get time off. Some of the kids are off school. You know, it's usually more like spring break time, stuff like that. The prices are pretty moderate. That includes if you're staying on site, the tickets, everything. So regular season by Disney standards is March, April, May, November, and December. Again, those are times where a lot of people have time off, you know, whether it be spring break or, you know, the long vacations, you know, winter vacations, winter breaks and stuff like that when kids are out of school. So those are the regular seasons. And then there's the value season. The value season, that is when it is the cheapest time to go. And by value season, that means if you're staying on site, the hotels are usually cheaper. Your park tickets are usually cheaper. Pretty much just everything's usually cheaper right around those times. So what Disney considers to be the value season is January, February, September, and part of October. So again, those are times where kids are usually in school. A lot of people don't have those times to take off because, you know, you can't just take the kids out of school. So but if you can afford to take your kids out of school, or if you happen to homeschool, these are the perfect times to go. One, not just because it is cheaper, which obviously it is, but they're also the good time of year to be down there. I mean, January and February, you know, we live here in the Midwest, so January and February, by then, you know, I've got cabin fever so bad, so I'm ready to get out. I'm ready to, you know, be in the sunshine and just be outdoors again. So January and February, perfect times to go. The weather down there is great, especially compared to the Midwest. So January and February is a great time to go. And then there's the fall, September and October. Again, it's starting to get a little cool here, so, but it's usually not too bad. But there, the weather is kind of perfect. Now, I want to talk about the weather too, because again, that's value season, but the weather is really nice while you're down there in September and October, unless you happen to get down there during a hurricane. And hurricane season for Florida is usually goes between June and October. So, I mean, it's a pretty good chunk of the year. But during hurricane season, I mean, there's no way to really plan on whether a hurricane's going to come through or not, but I mean, so long as the hurricane's not blowing through, September and October is a great time to go. Now, we talked about peak times as far as like months and stuff go. Well, there's also peak days. Obviously, that's any holiday. Any holiday is going to be a peak day. It's going to cost you a lot more. Even when you get close to holidays, it's going to cost more. And then the weekends, depending on what time of the season that you're going, the weekends can be a little bit higher. So if you can travel like Sunday through Thursday, that's your best times. That's when you're going to get your best values and your cheaper tickets, and usually even cheaper hotel rooms, even if it's on-site or off-site. But Sunday through Thursday, universally, that's just a time where, you know, your hotels and stuff are cheaper. And a lot of times that's also when your park tickets are cheaper too. So Sunday through Thursday, another good time to go. So like we talked about, we had the peak, the regular, and then the value season. With those, not only is the pricing different, but a lot of times your crowds are going to be different. So when they say value season, I really believe it is a value season, because not only are the park tickets and everything cheaper, but the crowds usually are a lot smaller. So you tend to get in a lot more rides than what you would had you gone during a peak season or even regular season. So, you know, when you're planning your next Disney vacation or even your first Disney vacation, check into those seasons, because I really, really do strongly advise you to go during the value season if it's at all possible for you or your family, just because you're going to get to experience a lot more and you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck.